All right, so this is my interview video of the three people that I interviewed, which are Chelsea Hoagland and Fernando Vidal, both from AXA Financial Group, and then James Morrell from Chick-fil-A, which obviously I don't want to work at Chick-fil-A for the rest of my life as my career field, but it might be something similar to what I'd be doing when I get home after I graduate, and he's the best leader I've ever been around, in my opinion. And all right, let's get started. So, what I need to know about the entry level is that James and Chelsea both said very similar things about this. They both said not only to work very hard, but go above and beyond and go the extra mile with whatever you're doing to show people that you can not only contribute to the company with your production, but you can also show them that you're a great leader and that you can move up into more of a leadership role relatively quick, and just show them what you're capable of bringing them. And one thing that Fernando mentioned that I actually really liked as well is that you want to make sure it's a good fit for you, it's whatever company that you decide to go with, not only the company but the career fit as well. Because if it's not, and you just go for the money because it's the first time you're ever making money full time, then you won't be happy to go to work, and then it just won't be a good situation to be in. As far as progressing in the work field, the workplace, excuse me, I thought it was interesting. Both Chelsea and Fernando mentioned the terms humble, hungry, and smart, which those three terms are three terms I've never heard together, and I thought it was really interesting to see them both mention that, and they both had different definitions of hungry and smart. Chelsea mentioned more of like a hungry to get better at what you do, and hungry to learn more. And then Fernando, on the other hand, was more of a passionate wise, like be hungry to find out what you're passionate about. If it is this, that just continue to grow in it and be hungry to learn about it. And I thought that was really interesting. And then smart wise, Fernando actually said it was more of a relationship smart, people smart, which I thought was really interesting because they work with a lot of people. And then if you're not people smart and don't know how to have a relationship with them, then you won't be as successful. And then Chelsea was more of, okay, figure out the industry, figure out what we're all about and everything. So I thought it was really interesting that we could compare and contrast those two. And one thing that I really liked also that James said was being teachable and make sure you don't know everything. You can always learn, which I thought was great because you don't always know everything. You always want to learn more because you can learn something new every single day, which is great. And then leadership wise, it set me up for success. All three of them mentioned reading, which I thought was really interesting because that's one thing I've never heard leadership wise set myself up for success. Chelsea more so read about what to do about leadership and how to grow as a leader. And Fernando was more about reading about other leaders and how they went about their business and everything, which I thought was really interesting. And then in regards to how leadership is practiced in each of their fields, I really like the answers of them and what they said. James and Chelsea kind of said similar things in that Chelsea said mentors, that they find mentors, and James said coaching, like they coach other people on the staff, on the crew. And I feel like that's kind of the similar to what Chelsea said. You have mentors that mentor you what to do and what they've experienced throughout their time at AXA and everything, which I thought was really cool how both of those kind of intertwine, even though that they work in completely different fields. I thought that was really cool. And then collaboration wise, this is one of my favorite questions that I asked them because I really wanted to see what they would say about this. And this is the social change model, I believe it is, that topic that I touched on. And what I thought was interesting that they both touched on, Chelsea and James, and yeah, both of those, and Fernando actually, they all touched on specialization, to collaborate, to figure out who's best at what and what someone can do maybe better than someone else. And just communicate and collaborate to know, okay, this is what I'm best at, this is what I'm going to do and whatnot. And I felt like that was a really good example of collaboration and how people can work together towards a common goal, which I thought was really big. And I know Chelsea said something about two heads are better than one. So you want to collaborate with someone else and get their opinion on things and not just do something yourself and then keep your own opinion because someone else might have something to say or view it differently than someone else does, which I thought was really great. I thought that was a really good thing to know and everything and whatnot. And now I'm going to show you a little clip of what James said about people with differences, because this quote I really stuck with me through the three interviews that we did. So here is James's quote. Yeah, no, but it seems like a lot of times like people take differences as kind of a bad thing, which I view it as pretty much the opposite.
Yeah, and I tell people here all the time, and I would hate. I think very highly of myself, which you probably gathered that already.
Yes.
But I'm very thankful that I don't work with a bunch of people like me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
And that's what's the challenging part of, I would say, about leadership also, man. Is
So that was one thing in our interview that really stood out to me because, like he said, you don't want to work with people just like yourself. And if you do, then you're going to be in a lot of trouble, not just with yourself, but with the company, because the diversity is such a big thing and such an important thing. And he even said he thinks very highly of himself, but even if it was people just like himself, it just wouldn't be good. He's so happy that he works with a lot of different people, which I thought was really cool. And Fernando and Chelsea were also impacted by working with other people. A lot of things is because of them able to learn more about different people and being able to connect with different types of people, which is a lot of cool. Fernando said that there's a lot of illiteracy regarding differences, and I really agree with that. I really do think that we don't know enough about other types of people and that we need to dig deep and learn more about these other people. And one thing that Chelsea said that really stuck out to me is that there's 240 managers, directors in AXA, and there's only 13 females, and she is one of them. That is absurd in such a small percentage, and I really hope that that can go up and that that can be improved on. And one of the things that a lot of these people gained most is I really feel like they loved having the experience of working with different people. It allowed them, I know Chelsea said it allowed her to put herself in other people's shoes, which is really crucial and really big because there's a lot of times where you're just so stick to your own beliefs and own views that you have a hard time putting yourself in other people's shoes, which is really, really important to me. And Fernando had said it allowed him to respect other people's beliefs because he's from Puerto Rico, and being able to work with people in Puerto Rico and then in the U.S., he's really seen both sides firsthand. So he really thinks that it's been really helpful for him. And then regarding challenges, I really feel like James hit it on the head. He said he's worked with a lot of people of different ages, and the age gap between him, he's 51 years old, the age gap between him and someone that's 21 years old like me is a lot different. So him being able to adjust to how they've lived their life and how they've seen the world growing up, he said it was a really, really good experience for him, and he really felt like it was important for him to realize that people grow up differently and people have different views on things, especially with age and everything. So yeah, those are the three people that I interviewed. I learned a lot about these different people, and I'm really excited to kind of see what they said and kind of incorporate it in my everyday life. So thank you.